And there's actually a lot of good classical resources. And then it's a charter school, so it's not religious, doesn't charge tuition, doesn't screen applicants, it's a random lottery, with the exception of the folks that founded the school get to have a place, guaranteed place in the lottery ahead of everybody else. It signs a contract, or what's called a charter, hence the term charter school, with the local board ed, and we're supposed to be given freedom in exchange for holding up our end of the bargain, which is to make kids learn a lot of things. Yes, ma'am, you have to head out. Thank you so much.
Sorry, I have to go, but
Yeah.
thank you, this was so interesting.
Thank you.
Thanks.
So then curriculum structure, the typical public school is like student-centered or student-led, we'll say, which is based on student-teacher interests, which is why you get repetitions and gaps. We teach history chronologically. Exposure on the public school side, what we say, if it's worth teaching, let's teach it to mastery. Instructional techniques, it's changing every 5 to 7 years. Well, sort of changing, the name changes, right? But we use time-tested instructional techniques, so we get like chants and rhymes in the early grades. If you walk in front of class school and if we're doing a good job, you should hear chants and rhymes, every 30 seconds or so. It should be going off in the elementary way. Because we memorize things through like rhyming and through chants and songs and fun things like that. The little kids love it. And then, bureaucratic rules limit staff freedom. And then, obviously a charter school, ideally, in Maryland, would have, more freedom and have more success. We at least do have freedom in the curriculum realm, but maybe not so much in the management realm. And then classical schools, we talk about the true, the good, and the beautiful. I think it's a great theme. You'll see that if you go in the school, emblazoned on the entrance flag. Yeah. And then we talk about, it's about, this is actually from our application, it's focusing on the unity of knowledge, how everything relates to everything else. The subjects are supposed to be taught in a very integrated fashion, so that it's a more like philosophical school in the long term, right? It's almost like, it's taught more of a philosophical level, so that you have the kids that want to question stuff. We encourage that because you're supposed to make these connections between different ideas. And like, I had these dialogues with my son. My son's now 15. He's unfortunately learned these techniques a little too well, so he argues with me about everything, right? He's like, well, this study says this, and this logic, it's like, that's what you want. You want kids to ask those good questions. So the idea is that it's liberating you, so you're not just kind of absorbing the current culture and kind of reflecting those values or ideas. There's an old saying, like, a lot of people think they're smart, but they're really like parroting the words of some dead economist, like they don't even know where the idea came from, right? So classical education, it's like, yeah, we're going to actually teach you where these ideas come from. And you can evaluate them if you're really conscious of, like, do you think that is the right idea, or are you just like parroting it, right? So that's the idea, is that you should be free to actually realize where the ideas came from, and you're not just repeating them. All right, that's it. So, any questions or comments? You guys had great comments. I should have you guys come up and
when do you sleep?
Every night at 10, I go to bed early.
That's not early, like 9 is early.
But I do see the fact that Donald, my older one, both got the education in classical charter school from kindergarten on until second grade. And this is when their brain started questioning things.
Yeah.
And when sometimes they were smarter than the teacher and they corrected the teacher, and the teacher maybe accepted it the first time, but the second time, not so much. And then there was just the, I'm going to make you pay for it because you corrected me twice. And that's, Donald in particular got the basis, exactly how it's supposed to be. You learn the vocabulary, then you know the meaning and how it works. And then at this point, he doesn't need classical charter school anymore because he was able to exemplify.
If you take that.
He exemplified what he learned to say, wait a minute, I know how it works, I know what it means, I know the definition, and I know how it's spelled. Now.
Right.
And he's not afraid to present it.
Yeah. No, that's what we want. That's
I
great.
would construct a study, 10,000 kids, and pay the kindergarten teacher, and find the most qualified, however you would do that.
Yeah.
The highest IQ,
Yeah.
most experience, whatever.
Yeah.
I would pay that person, you know, $100,000, $150,000 for 1 year.
Yeah.
Follow those kids through their entire career and see where those kids are based and over the other kids in their same age.
Huge.
And I feel like we would have our answer, that you need to invest in those, that basic reading
Right.
skills and just, you'll
Yes.
have, and it would change the world.
It would change the world, and it'd bring America up to just being normal, because we're not normal, we're so low, right, compared to other countries. And then also I would add to that, you want the reading, but also the knowledge acquisition is cumulative, so that can't just be done in here, and it has, you know, that, if you want to see the effects of what's called core knowledge, the core knowledge program that we base some of our stuff on, though the theory behind it was the effects would be cumulative and kids would be able to read better as they acquire more knowledge, and science has borne that out. So they take bad readers that like know about baseball and they have them read about baseball, and they take really good readers that know nothing about baseball and they have them read about baseball. The bad readers actually read better because they have more comprehension, because they, even though they're not as good, they understand the interest, and then they understand how baseball is played, and they can interpret the passage correctly, right? So I would say, yeah, the early reading coupled with all this knowledge acquisition is really
But
important.
the reading alone can't be, because you know when you realize that reading is not the answer, is when you have a bilingual student. So to confirm your assumption or your data that the US school systems are lower.
Yeah, among English-speaking countries, yeah.
All right,
they're low.
so coming from Poland and Germany, when I came to this country and I was applying for college, and they said, whoa, what's your high school degree? What's your high school GPA? I said, well, this is what I have. Well, we can't accept that. I said, okay, what do I need to do? They said, you need to do, you need to go to, you need to do the GED
Right.
course. I said, all right, what do I have to do? Well, you do a few GED classes, and then you have to do the test. It's a 5-hour test. Okay, I did that. I did the GED test. Mind you, my English was bad, like really bad. Meaning,
Lot better than that.
meaning my language skills, my whatever I read, I didn't understand mostly, probably.
Yeah.
But, so, and you know, GED tests you in 5 subjects, and you have to pass a minimum of 49%. Minimum, yeah, I mean, to pass. So,
I think I
yeah,
know
that's
what
how.
but now I gotta know. I think this is a good ending. Tell me.
Well,
You did well. I assume you did well.
But that's the expectation, not because I was a foreigner, that's
Yeah.
the expectation to pass GED.
Right.
Got it.
They needed to see that I was equivalent to any US high school graduate to go to college. So I mean, you do biology, you do write an essay, you do
Right.
grammar and all math. So I didn't understand half of what I was doing, but I understood numbers, I understood a little bit of whatever. So I passed.
Yeah.
But
That's
I
what
didn't
expect.
understand what I was reading.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say is that the reading was not,
Right.
was not it wouldn't have helped me. I could have
Yeah.
been in Germany an exceptional reader, which
Right.
I wasn't. It didn't matter. I wasn't speaking the language that I was tested
Right.
in 5 different subjects.
Correct. Yeah.
So-
That's obviously gonna be harder.
But here you go. If I pass that, and 49% was the minimum you
Right.
could pass, just to be considered.
And American
equivalent.
kids can't. I mean, some of it, you know, some people have
Right,
technical
okay,
time.
that was my other thing, like, one of the excuses,
Yeah, good seeing.
like,
yeah.
why the kids didn't pass, is they just didn't
Do
care.
you all know Chris is running for board?
Yes.
Okay, make sure. Yeah. I recorded that, but I'll edit that part out.
Yeah,
But they
okay.
didn't care because
They took
they
10
had
minutes to
to
write the test, take the test, and so like they're saying that most of them maybe just gave up because they didn't care. There was no motivation to finish the test.
Right.
And I'm like, well, that's a big failure too.
know, yeah.
Massive failure.
Because why are you not motivated? You say you're doing teaching grit and social emotional learning. Where's that
Where's
teaching?
all of
Yeah.
that going?
Yeah.
I was like, I can't believe I just read that. Is that
Yeah.
really an excuse that we're gonna start hearing? Is it
Yeah.
because they're not motivated?
Oh, yeah.
So,
because our
I guess we
teachers,
can't
our
do
schools,
standardized tests.
No, I'll sit down and tell you. Yeah. So
our
we have to
schools
know.
are are not encouraging the, like,
Here, let me
you
stop
don't
the
need
thing.
to, you don't need to make a smart kid feel bad. You don't need